developer Bloober Team has made a name for themselves within the psychological horror genre. From layers of fear to the medium, the studio is often one to ground its horror in mental space and metaphor, building tension from uncertainty and introspection. Cronos, the New Dawn, retains that sense of unease, but shifts the focus towards physical survival. It's a game where corpses don't stay dead unless you set them on fire, and the most powerful upgrades come with a cost to your mind. After spending about 3 hours with the game and speaking with the developers during a recent press event, to me, Cronos feels like a natural but significant turn for the studio, one rooted in legacy but eager to try new things.
I encountered malformed biomass.
Cronos, the New Dawn follows the story of a traveler working under the mysterious Collective, tasked with uncovering crucial moments from the past to salvage something of humanity's future. The game itself bounces between two different settings, one being the absolute wasteland of a possible future, and 1983 Poland. What links the two events is called The Change, which is this unexpected catastrophe that altered the world forever. During gameplay, you explore the future as a kind of last survivor, searching for temporal rifts that lead back to the past. It's there that much of the environment story unfolds. Still, I should mention that these aren't historical recreations for the sake of atmosphere. The team built environments that feel lived in and abandoned, often though at the same time, and the way that the level design is set up, it's easy to see this through just normal gameplay. Everything from a child's bedroom to the condition of a rusted stairwell tells you something about what came before. At its core though, Cronos is structured around a classic survival horror game loop. You move cautiously through unfamiliar space, scavenge limited supplies, and I mean very limited, manage your inventory carefully, and make moment-to-moment decisions under pressure. Combat is deliberate and very punishing. You have to reload manually, you don't get health back when you die, every fight comes with consequences, and even small mistakes can snowball. Resource management is a huge part of the experience. You'll find upgrades, but the game never lets you have everything. Expanding your inventory early on might mean skipping a suit upgrade. The idea is that the traveler becomes more capable not just through tools, but through how the player starts thinking. After a few hours, the choices that I made felt instinctive when I was upgrading. This isn't one of those games where you can hoard items and then use them later on. You gotta use everything you have at the moment that you have it. The developers leaned into these systems deliberately. There was no push to ease up the difficulty to reach a broader audience here, and if you enjoy challenge, you're in the right place. And if you don't, this probably isn't going to change your mind, but I think it is approachable to all players if you just slow down. That argument can probably be made for every genre though. Anyway, enemy encounters become really tense for more reasons than just ammo scarcity. Once an enemy dies, its body stays behind, and unless you destroy the corpse, it could be absorbed by another creature. The result is a more aggressive, harder to kill threat that combines traits from both creatures. This mechanic adds pressure to every encounter, where you're not just clearing a room, instead you're kind of making sure everything is dead or just stays away from the enemies that you killed before. And trust me, the enemies get very powerful. The merging mechanic plays into the larger narrative themes, where the story touches on ideas of unity, control, and what's lost when individuality breaks down. These monsters are actually the outcome of a world where connection itself has become dangerous. The design reflects that, and the systems ensure that the game keeps players thinking on more than one level. Throughout the game, you'll collect these things known as essences, which are souls of significant people from the past. These collectibles, when used, can boost your abilities, but at a slight cost. Your HUD begins to glitch out a little bit and voices whisper through your headset, and the more essence you carry, the more unstable your suit becomes. This builds tension without needing constant jump scares. Even in the moments of calm, your screen might be flickering or a voice might cut off in mid-thought. You are able to drop essence to regain some clarity, but doing so also weakens you. It's a push and pull that reinforces the broader idea of carrying other people's weight, both as a mechanic and as part of the story. Over time, this could build towards a shift in identity. The traveler you play as is cold and distant in the opening moments, but by the end of the first act, I felt that it started to feel different. She's voiced by Kelly Burke, who previously played Marianne in the medium, but her performance here is intentionally stilted at first. There's a moment early on where she's actually reconnecting with a lost colleague, and something human breaks through this kind of Subnautica suit that we can't see her through. From there, you watch her responses change, and from what the developers told me, playing a second time, you may start to notice how much was already in place from the beginning of the game. One interesting thing about the game is that Cronos doesn't rely on cutscenes to move its story forward. While there are lore notes and audio logs, much of the narrative is told through the environment. The developers used real-world Polish locations as inspiration, and the result is rather haunting. For local players, I can imagine it's a strange kind of recognition. Seeing objects from childhood scattered across dystopian ruins is a little weird, but for everyone else, it might hit a little different. Regardless, there's this sense of a world frozen mid-sentence. The future sections are intentionally sparse, designed to make players feel alone. The quiet here is deliberate, meant to keep players scanning every corner and second-guessing what's gonna happen. I feel like if the development team capitalizes on this, these moments could feel just as important as any direct exposition could. The team also made it clear that Cronos isn't built for one-and-done playthroughs. There are secrets and connections that only make sense in hindsight. Once you understand what the Traveler is really doing, earlier scenes change tones entirely. Dialogue hits differently, locations you passed without thinking take a meaning, and players who enjoy piecing things together will find plenty to revisit. This also kind of supports the game's wider lore, which is more science fiction than it might seem at first. While the Poland setting is getting a lot of attention, the developers are more excited about the deeper systems and mythology they built around the collective, the travelers, and the fallout from the change. It's a narrative that starts wide and narrows into something more personal. And teasing what's coming after the preview event that I was able to play, I feel like this is the game that's going to become more about the lives of a few specific people and the things they did to survive. Cronos: The New Dawn doesn't seem like a game that's here to explain itself fully or make players comfortable. It's a game that's difficult by design, with mechanics that force commitment and systems that tie directly into the story. It invites players to slow down, take notice, and pay attention to what they're carrying. And I mean that because storage is very limited, but you can upgrade it, don't worry. Bloober Team has always worked within horror, but this project feels more like a step into a different territory. Not necessarily louder or more action-packed, just more grounded, more system-driven, and more confident in letting the world speak for itself. We'll definitely have more to say about Cronos: The New Dawn when it launches in fall 2025 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC via Steam. Now, enjoy some gameplay.
Temporal destination reached. Proceeding with the search for the target, Edward Vishnievsky.
Voice Pixel.